Glad to welcome you guys here to this session, the hands and feet of IOH. And one thing that we all know with this organization is we cannot do what we do without lots of help. And I'm looking at your faces and I know that you guys have been instrumental in getting us where we are. And we're excited about the future. And so there's so many ways that people can get involved with Inheritance of Hope. And I think the sky's the limit. This past year has taught us that with change comes, obviously there's some hardship, but also comes adventure and growth. And we've gotten to do some things this past year that we never knew we were capable of. And it's opened up this great opportunity for more people to serve and be involved. So welcome to the hands and feet of IOH. And to get us kicked off, I am very excited to share with you a special video. So if your view settings is kind of set up where you can only see the person speaking, or you can see a lot of little squares, I just want to encourage you to play with the view setting in your top right corner, or if you're on an iPad, it might be on the bottom left, or a phone. Just mess around with the settings so you can see this video in the best possible way. And I'm going to go ahead and play it for us right now. So enjoy.
I'm Isaiah Douglas. I live in Harriman, Utah.
Okay, my name is Miles, and her name is
Ayana Glaze. Okay. And we live in Lawrenceville, Georgia, which is outside of Atlanta.
My name is Mike Harley, and I live in Pisgah Forest, North Carolina.
Hi, I'm Natalie Belsick from St. John's, Florida.
Hi, my name is Jane McCoy, and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hi, I'm Andrea Ross Boyle, and I live in Long Island, New York.
Hello, I'm Colleen Erlob, and I live in Minot, North Dakota.
Hi, I'm Jason Crawford. I live in Seneca, South Carolina, and I'm 11 years old.
My name is Shannon Fogarty, and I live in Saratoga Springs, New York.
I'm Gabriel Thompson. I live in Fundraising, Florida.
Hi, I'm Grace Gurdon, and I live in Campbell Hall, New York.
Hello, my name is Tina Boggs, and I'm from Jacksonville, Florida.
I volunteer for Inheritance of Hope at the Legacy Retreats and on the Hope at Home weekends.
Okay. I serve Heritage of Hope by wearing my t-shirt.
I serve Inheritance of Hope by wearing my t-shirt and using it as an opportunity to explain Inheritance of Hope and all of the wonderful things they have done in my life.
But most of my time with Inheritance of Hope has been as a group facilitator.
And I serve by fundraising for Inheritance of Hope through the dance recital and dance program that I work for, as well as a home-based business.
I serve Inheritance of Hope by serving at Hope at Home on the weekend.
I've served Inheritance of Hope by making specialized gifts for Inheritance of Hope families.
I serve Inheritance of Hope through Hope at Home weekends and leading Hope at Home groups.
I serve Inheritance of Hope by being a legacy builder and by taking out some of my allowance to help go towards the donations for Inheritance of Hope. I also help by packing boxes.
My family was served in June of 2011, and now, in order to help Inheritance of Hope, I have done several century rides, which are 100-mile bike rides.
I serve Inheritance of Hope by telling my friends on social media.
I run races for IOH. That's a way that I can serve and raise awareness and funds for this great organization.
Okay. I serve Inheritance of Hope by referring my friends.
And I love volunteering for Inheritance of Hope because I was served as a family in 2017 in May in Orlando. And really felt blessed by Inheritance of Hope and what they provided for me and my family. And I get to go back and provide that same love to the families that I get to serve.
When I started my chemo, I started with somebody who was much younger than with me. Part of my healing and letting him have the same opportunities and the chance to create memories with his family before he passed away. So Inheritance of Hope has a big place in my heart, because to know that I was able to do something to help really blessed my heart.
I realized the value of Inheritance of Hope, certainly for the parents, but specifically for the children of a family who are facing these serious illnesses. I know as a parent and as a grandparent, if I was facing something like that in my family, my biggest concern would be for my young children.
And I give because I really believe in their mission as well as what they do for families.
So the reason why I serve is I found Inheritance of Hope online, and I know how it is to lose a parent because I lost my father at the young age, and I thought it was a great organization that I would like to be part of and be able to build up families in a way that I didn't have when I was younger.
I serve Inheritance of Hope because I was an Inheritance of Hope recipient, and that was so special to me. I wanted to give back to other families experiencing the same journey.
I serve with Inheritance of Hope to continue on my mom's legacy.
I serve Inheritance of Hope because I went through the same thing. My dad had ALS and I lost him, but that's sometimes a good thing, because God took him up to heaven, because I like feeling that I can help people.
I serve with Inheritance of Hope because I believe that they are a very strong organization that have helped many, many people, including myself.
Or I serve because it's a great thing to do, and it's also awesome to give to others.
I serve Inheritance of Hope because my husband is a 3-time cancer survivor, and I know how important it is to have a community of people who understand exactly what you're going through and who will help you and carry you through probably the most difficult times of your life.
I serve because I have seen the impact of this organization.
I love Inheritance of Hope.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed that little video. If you came in a little bit late, that will be accessible in our recording. So we can share that with you. For those of you who participated in the video, thank you for taking the time to record that and be able to share it with all of you. I know that there's many of you on this call who I also could have interviewed, and you have your own personal reasons how you serve and why you serve. And so just let me say first, thank you to all of you for the many ways that you serve. And like I said at the beginning, we cannot do this without you. So grateful. I even think about, well, we talked about, well, we're going to go through a little PowerPoint here on some of the ways. And so I'm going to go ahead and share this PowerPoint. And like I said, please play with your settings if you're not seeing it in the way that you want to see it. You guys all should be seeing a screen right now that says the hands and feet of IOH. And if you can't see it, maybe just click on view and look for that. But that's the session that we're in, and that is me. Who can serve with Inheritance of Hope? I hope by now you realize everyone can serve with Inheritance of Hope. And by everyone, I mean young, old, and everything in between, diagnosed or not, strong and well, or maybe weak at the moment, fit and not fit. I listened to Shannon share about the legacy rides of 100-mile bike rides, and I think, well, that's not for me, but I'm so glad it's for him. And I think about all he's done through that. So there are lots of opportunities. I look here at Dana and Craig, who've been a huge blessing with packing boxes and rolling t-shirts. All the t-shirts you guys got in your boxes were rolled by volunteers. And I just think what a great gift. So everyone means everyone. That's you. That's the who. What? So our mission, and most of you probably know this, is to inspire hope in young families facing the loss of a parent. That mission is huge because 1 in 20 children under the age of 16 face the loss of a parent. So we know that there's thousands of families that are in this demographic, and we want to serve them all. We can't do it without so many people. And so this is exciting. There's so many of us here on this call, and anyone who's watching the recording later. It requires all of us. And I am so blessed to be a part of a team of people like you guys, that we get to serve alongside each other in this really great mission. Nothing brings me more joy. When? So we got who, what, and now we're talking when. This is something that happens all the time. I think there was a time in our history, perhaps, that we thought serving with Inheritance of Hope meant serving at an event that happened on a random weekend, maybe quarterly, maybe 4 times a year. And that was kind of what it meant to serve with Inheritance of Hope. But I am excited to tell you that serving with Inheritance of Hope is something that happens all the time, every day. And that's what I hope you experienced in that video, is it kind of made you think about things a little bit differently, of some ways that you might be able to be the hands and feet of IOH in your everyday life. And so that is our next slide. Where? So I talked about on site. That used to be kind of the signature offering that we thought about, a legacy retreat. We went somewhere, maybe Orlando or New York or Lake George or Colorado, and we served families. We pushed wheelchairs and carried bags. And certainly that is an important part of serving with Inheritance of Hope, but it has not become the biggest way to serve. There's also online events that happen all the time. So we have these Hope at Home weekends. Those happen quarterly, and those are really sweet opportunities to connect, kind of like we're doing here, which, you know, here we are looking at each other. We represent states from all over the country, and we can connect in a meaningful way. Hope at Home weekends are so amazing when we bring families from all over the country, and then we have volunteers that reach out to them and encourage them and help them through the activities of the weekend. So that's happening. And then ongoing events. So some of you might not even know that we have these Hope at Home groups that are happening every night of the week. And we have lots of groups for every person. And those are things that we're excited about, but those also require help. And we need volunteers that can help host those Zoom calls and be there weekly to welcome new people and to help facilitate discussion. And so there are, the where has sort of changed from an actual physical location to more of a virtual and physical and ongoing opportunity. So who, what, when, where? Can you guess what the next question is? Why? We just watched that video, and what I loved is that last question that they all answered. Why do you serve with Inheritance of Hope? So one of the people, actually Natalie, who her mom Kathy is on this call, she said, I believe in the mission. And I've heard a lot of people say that they might not be personally impacted by a diagnosis, but they really see the need, and they also see the impact of Inheritance of Hope. And so they want to get behind that. I mean, who doesn't want to get behind something that's exciting and that's making a difference for people? And so some people's answer to why do you serve might be you believe in the mission. And I certainly do. That's why I'm here. The second thing I listed here was that statistic, the 1 in 20 children under the age of 16, this fact that there are so many families that need what Inheritance of Hope is offering. And it's heartbreaking to think that there's families that maybe in the past we weren't able to serve because we didn't have enough people to help, or we didn't have enough funding, or we didn't have enough events planned. And I'm pleased that we're getting to a point where we have much more to offer people. And that's another reason why you might say, I'd like to serve, because I want to help all these families that need this service. A third reason there that I really love, and many of you on this call, when we open it up to discussion, will probably raise your hand to this, but you can relate due to a personal circumstance. So I think you heard on that video that there were many that served because they had been served. So, Andrea Boyle said, I was a recipient. And Shannon Fogarty said, my family was served back in June of 2000 something. And others, little Jason Crawford, the 11-year-old, and he said, my family was served. My dad passed away. I want to do this for somebody else. So there was lots of that in the video that you could see. And I can tell you personally that of our 300 and plus volunteers that we currently have, many of them are previous families served, just like the people I mentioned. And they want to pay hope forward, which is the next bullet point. You receive a gift and you think, I want other people to have this. And so how can I help? How can I pay hope forward? And I'm so pleased now that even when people may be in a fragile health state, they still have the capability of doing some of these things we're going to mention on the next slide, the how part. But I also love that, like Jane McCoy, one of the gals that was in that video, she said, I read about Inheritance of Hope online. She just Googled something about, the life-threatening illness or something like that. She found Inheritance of Hope, and she had lost her dad when she was a child. And she realized this is something I wish I had had when I was younger. So she can relate due to personal circumstances. And she wasn't even a family that we were able to serve. But I think it's really special that she can put herself in the shoes of those children that are facing the loss. And she wants to be a part of making a difference for them. That next point there, extending a legacy. You heard Colleen Erlob on that video say, I serve because I want to extend my mom's legacy. And we did serve her family. Her mom did pass away. And I can think of no greater opportunity. I see Colleen light up as she serves families because she does feel like she is honoring her mom and she's making her proud and she's paying hope forward. The love that she received as a recipient, she's able to pour out on her own legacy building development, as well as for her mom, which I think is the coolest thing. And boy, yeah, her mom would be so proud. But I do also think it's powerful to consider your own legacy, right? So we have this life we've been given and we've woken up today with breath in our lungs. We get to be intentional with what we do today. And so perhaps serving in one of these ways with Inheritance of Hope is a way that you get to be intentional with your personal legacy. So that's pretty cool. And the last thing there, it's a great thing to do. My son, Gabriel, he was the one that said, it's just a really good thing to do for others. And I thought, that's a pretty good answer to why do you serve with Inheritance of Hope? I'm glad he didn't say because my mom makes me, because that would have had to have been edited out. But I do think it is a great thing to do. We've been given resources and talents and skills and money and time and energy. And what are you going to do with all those things? I say you become the hands and feet of IOH, which is pretty special. So this is kind of the bulk of what we're going to spend some time talking about is how. So you may think, well, I can't do too much right now. Well, wearing your shirt is one very easy way that you can be the hands and feet of IOH. When you wear these shirts around town and people ask you, what is this Inspire Hope that's on your shirt? What is this about? What does it mean? Then you have this opportunity to say your IOH story. Either if you were served or you know someone who served or you just have been a part of the organization, tell people what it means to you. Tell them our mission. Tell them the statistic about 1 in 20 children. Be a billboard of sorts that people then become aware, and that ripple effect is so powerful. You don't know who they're going to tell and who they're going to tell. And it might just be that they're the ones that get to invite the next family that desperately needs this. So by wearing your shirt, you are being the hands and feet of IOH. And so welcome to the family. Wear your shirt and you're part of the team. So don't minimize that. You think it's maybe crazy that you may have a lot of IOH shirts at this point. If you've been in retreats and you've come to annual legacy events, we're going to keep giving you shirts. And it's not because we want to spend money on shirts. We want to show the world IOH, and you are the beautiful canvas to display the art of the shirt on to the world. I also love when people wear their shirts internationally, by the way. I said world, and you're probably thinking, oh, we're only in the United States. Well, yeah, we're only in the United States right now, but the sky's the limit. I'm telling you guys, the internet's a magical thing. And if you wear your shirts far and wide, you never know what's going to happen. So proudly wear your shirts, especially since they're so comfy. That second there bullet point says, share your IOH story on social media. Oh, I like that. And Shannon's pointing out his bracelet. You can also wear your Inheritance of Hope rubber bracelet. That's also a sweet way. People always notice those and they ask. So be prepared to tell them. Sharing your IOH story on social media these days is so simple. We share things on Inheritance of Hope's Instagram page and Facebook page. We share things every day. And if you hit the button to share that, I did not understand social media until last year when I learned this logarithm. When you hit that share button, it is powerful. You think you might just be sharing it to a small little community, but then they share and that ripple effect is amazing. So this weekend, as you see things on Inheritance of Hope's Instagram or Facebook and you hit share, certainly you can type your own little post to go with it. But even if you don't post your own words, you just share what we post. It is a powerful, exponentially great way to send this information out into the cyberspace and really, really impact a lot of people. So to go a step further, if you were a family served or you've been a volunteer, you're wearing your shirt somewhere, if you post that and you tell people the why and the who and the what, that's going to make an impact. So, I started with these two bullet points that are actually pretty easy for all of us to do. And I hope that kind of makes you think of yourself as a hands and feet of IOH, even if you're not able to do any of the other things at this point. The next thing there is the Busy Kids app. So this is kind of interesting. If you have kids and you give them an allowance, there is an app called Busy Kids. And you heard Jason Crawford in that video share about how he gives a portion of his allowance each month to Inheritance of Hope. That is so inspiring to me, you guys, because he's an 11-year-old. I think he actually turned 12 since that video was edited. He chooses to take a percentage of his allowance through the Busy Kids app, and you can search Inheritance of Hope, and we're one of their chosen nonprofit organizations, and Jason can set it up so automatically a portion of his chore money, his allowance, comes to Inheritance of Hope. I think that is pretty spectacular. So that's just a fun fact for kids or others. Certainly, those of us adults, we don't have allowance money, but we do get paychecks, and sometimes your employer might offer the donation matching, things like that. So that's just something to consider. And on our current fundraising pages, it actually allows you to search your employee and see if they are a matching donor. So there's some big companies you might not even know that the company that you work for matches any employee donations. And so just by checking that out, you might be able to double any donations that you make in your lifetime through your employer, sorry. So personal fundraising, that's really exciting. I think it's another way social media makes it easy for us sometimes, but you can make a birthday campaign. I know some of you have done that on Facebook. I did that for my birthday last year, and it's so moving to see the people who want to honor you on your birthday and celebrate you by donating to Inheritance of Hope. So it's a win-win-win because you feel loved and honored. That person feels like they're celebrating your life, and they're also pouring into the lives of these families that we get to serve. So I love the birthday campaigns. Certainly you heard Natalie talk about a home-based business. She sells a product and she chooses to give a portion of her proceeds to Inheritance of Hope. So I know some people have had home-based parties that they've done, and then they've made Inheritance of Hope the benefiting charity, and that is a sweet way for you to be the hands and feet of IOH. You've probably heard this term legacy builder, and many of you actually are legacy builders. It is someone who chooses to give monthly to Inheritance of Hope. And that's just a powerful thing, regardless of the amount, $5, whatever, all the way up. This is something that allows you to be a year-round participant with Inheritance of Hope. It's a sweet way to give back. And it's something that we celebrate. We do a lot of special things for legacy builders around here because we really do appreciate that commitment. And it certainly does go a long way to serving more families. Super excited. This is a side note, but I know you guys have heard a little bit about Giving Tuesday, which is coming up here in the next few days. We actually are kicking it off now. It's an event that's happening, and it's a really powerful thing, especially because we have this match going on right now. And so for anyone who becomes a legacy builder in the next 2 weeks, their 12-month gift, like what they give for a year, is matched by a donor. So that's just a really powerful thing too. You think about $5 a month, that $60 for the year is going to be matched. So it's doubled in the next couple of weeks. So that is a really cool way to be the hands and feet of IOH. This next bullet point is for the mighty ones, those ones that like to run and walk and bike. Those crazy people who go 100 miles on a bike like Shannon. I'm inspired by you guys. The Grace Gurdons, you heard her in the video. She's run lots of races for us. She loves running marathons and half marathons. And that is spectacular. You wear your shirt proudly on your day, and a lot of people see you run or bike or walk past them. And so you're actually doing that first bullet point by being like a billboard for Inheritance of Hope. And then many times the people who do those races are also raising funds. And it's a really powerful way to grow. And it's really fun to cheer them on and to feel like if that's something you enjoy doing, that's a way that you can be the hands and feet of IOH. Pray. This is such an important part of our organization. We have a private group on Facebook called the Inheritance of Hope Prayer Team, and many of you are a part of it. I see your names. I know that you're already a part of that. If you'd like to join that on Facebook, you can just request it, and I will approve that. And it's certainly something that we really value. It's the foundation of what we do. And every Monday I post the prayer requests for the week and things that are very needing prayer at that moment, and you guys get to pray. I really enjoy seeing the amazing way that God answers our prayers through that group. So please know that that group is a huge part of our serving team in the Inheritance of Hope hands and feet. I love on the video, my friend shared about how she likes to refer families. And I know all of us have probably heard a story about maybe the teacher at the school or a neighbor or someone at our church, or some of you, it's your own self, who have been given this diagnosis with a prognosis and they have kids, and you think, what do I even do? You can refer them to Inheritance of Hope. We would love to serve them. And so you point them to our website, you point them to the Hope at Home app, and we will take it away from there. And then finally, a way that you can serve Inheritance of Hope is by volunteering on site or online. And I talked about how you do that at legacy retreats, you do that at Hope at Home weekends. It's a really exciting way to be the hands and feet of IOH. It used to be the only way, people thought. There's so many others. So I hope that that inspired you as you consider, what is my place here? Where can I serve? How can I be the hands and feet of IOH? So I would love to open up our discussion to anyone on here who maybe thought of another way that you serve, or you want to share about the ways that you personally have served or have enjoyed being served with Inheritance of Hope. I love seeing all your names and faces.
I just love, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go first.
I just loved how it could be something as simple as, sporting a shirt, One thing I think I would like, because I don't know if you know, but my back window is tinted, and I have right now Mediviver, because they give to research, right? To cancer, metastatic cancer research. So that sticker is starting to come apart. So I need a new one, and I would really like to feature Inheritance of Hope on the back of my car with a big sticker. So I don't know if I should, if I could get a logo and I could print one out here, have a printer out here locally do that. If that's an option, I don't know, but I'd love to sport you on the back of my car. You know me, I drive all over the state.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that, Rebecca. That's fun. That's another version of a billboard, definitely bigger than your t-shirt. So that's a cool idea. Shannon, were you going to say something?
I was going to say, I do these rides every year in September, but I do them for the Children's Hospital, which goes to all different organizations. And unfortunately, I've mentioned it to the board every year about putting you guys in there, but they do it for research only. And I'm wondering about how would we create a ride that would, create money and give it to you guys in order to get people to come. Because I know when I did my 5 century rides, I was able to get, 10 or 15 families the full trips. And, ever since moving up here, I haven't been able to do those rides. So.
Yeah, that was a tremendous blessing, Shannon. And I love your heart to just continue that for sure.
Yeah.
My advice as a marketing guru, if you can't get them to support you, start your own, even if it's just 10 bikers, doing a ride, and find people that are passionate with you, and just spread the word. Get a flag, because you know how they always have the flags on the back of bikes. Get a flag, an Inheritance of Hope flag. It's another way to be a banner, while you're doing that ride, and have everybody wearing Inheritance of Hope. And I don't know, make one.
Well,
for
I have
yourself.
my Inheritance of Hope, and I could show them to you. I got my Inheritance of Hope spandex that I wear all over the place. I did Eric Miller.
Maybe what we could do is have a date that we do it across, different locations across the country. I'm in California, New York, where you just say Saturday the 10th of June or something.
Right.
And we all ride our 100 miles, or maybe 40.
Well, let's not go 100. I like 50 miles. I like 45.
Yeah.
Or maybe 10 people could do 10 miles.
Or we could
There
do,
you go.
you know, or we could do like we did, like with the with my ride that I do in September now because of COVID or pandemic, whatever you want to call it. You know, over the course of a certain amount of time, you raise money for IOH, and then you do a certain amount of miles. You pledge a certain amount of miles with a certain amount of money, and then you have to achieve that, within the 30 days. So my miles last year, I did 550, and I pledged to raise, I think 4,000, and I ended up coming in at 5,500. So, and I made it just in time,
Thank
2
you.
days prior. So
Shannon, you're such an inspiration. I appreciate all you do. And the other thing I really wish I would have mentioned in the video or in the presentation there is the way that many of you encourage volunteers and staff through your words. I think about, well, Shannon came to my mind because he's very good at this. But many of you on this call, when you text and email and call different staff members and encourage us, certainly that's another huge way that you are bolstering this organization. And so I appreciate that, your heart for that. I'm going to throw it here to, I was just actually looking at Andrea. She talked about how she packed baskets and boxes for Inheritance of Hope families. They were kind of bags actually. And she happened to live in New York. And so it was close to one of our events. And it was such a beautiful way to see her heart of paying hope forward. So she was able to get some friends involved and some donations and create these beautiful gifts to give families that they all appreciated so much. And it was just her heart of, I was served and blessed, and now I want to pay it forward. And so I do love, Andrea, the way that you did that so well and so beautifully. I feel like the benefit of that is overflowing even still.
I wanted to say real quick for the person who asked about the sticker on the car, if you got this in your box, you can put this on your car. I actually put this one on my car.
Wait, we can't see you.
It's not big enough. It's not big enough for my back window. It's got to cover my back window. Oh, gee.
We'll get you.
I even thought about doing, the hood of your car, and people can't see it unless they're up in the air. I even thought about that because I know a lot of pilots that, fly Vespas that are close to the ground, and they can see stuff like that, and they have money. And yeah, I know it's not big enough. I go big or I go home.
Yeah,
go big or go home, baby.
Very good.
Was that Eric?
No, that was Dylan.
Oh.
Kathy, also, I'm looking at your face. She helped mail out all of the masks that people ordered during the pandemic when we were selling Inheritance of Hope masks. That was certainly not something we're typically used to selling. And our International Distribution Center, also known as Heather Dodd's Life, was busy with lots of normal shipments. And Kathy took on the job of mailing out all of the masks, which was a really cool way to serve Inheritance of Hope from her living room or bedroom. That was fun. Does anybody have any other? I'm looking here. JC Lawler is like one of our oldest volunteers of all time. She's been around for like 14 years. So it's so fun to see your beautiful face.
Oh, I want to go get my IOH hat. I got the same one.
Well,
yeah, I got that same one.
Old school, baby, old school.
Yeah, I'm going to get it. I'll be right back.
Go get it.
I'm going to get it.
Okay.
I will make a quick mention on the sticker that Dylan held up. I was confused as to how that worked. And so if anybody else is, you have to stick it on and then peel the back off so that just the white stays. So I just thought I would share from my mistake.
Good tip, Tom. Thanks for the tip.
Well, something that has been, am I muted?
No, Andrea was talking and she was muted, but you go ahead, Wanda, and then I'll unmute Andrea for her. Oh,
this
who
is
is talking?
this is
Ann.
Ann.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it just I've retired from healthcare, but in the different areas, you know, I've just on my daily travels, if I go to the dentist or I'm talking to somebody in healthcare, member of my son's family, my daughter-in-law was, his whole family was served. And so that topic comes up. I remember going to my mammogram and talking about the breast cancer awareness and all. And so IOH is always discussed. And twice now, 2 years in a row, the mammography group techs asked where they could send a donation because they do it every year. And so I was really so pleased. And I think I shared earlier in the last session that I did a book club at church, and I used Consider It Pure Joy for the book. And I mean, that reached so many people to know about it. My dentist, her daughter happens to work at Dana-Farber in Boston in the metastatic breast cancer area with young families. And so we stay in touch, and I forward things that I get from IOH there. So I think that certainly is I know you probably don't have a shortage of families that need to be served, but that certainly would be that group.
Yeah, Anne, I love that so much. Like, actually, there's several things you said that triggered. One thing is doing a Bible study or a book club thing with this Consider It Pure Joy book is a brilliant idea. And certainly we have those books. So if you decide you want to do a book club with friends with that book, let us know. We will send you the books. We would love for that to be a setting. And Anne, I love that. And the other thing you said that really triggered something to me is all the families that need it. You say there's no shortage. Yes, that's true. We have plenty that we're ready to serve, but these Hope at Home groups that happen each week, word isn't quite out yet that those are available. And the minute we get new people, they're saying, oh, this is something I've needed for so long and I've wanted for so long. And the fact that they're ready now, we're ready to accept lots of families in that way, like tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Monday, this week, that those are things like you could tell your friend at the Dana-Farber that they can join this Wednesday night. The metastatic breast cancer group is meeting and there's plenty of space. So it's exciting that it's like immediate. We've never done that before.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So they don't have to wait. Andrea, you're unmuted now. So would you like to, you wanted to say something?
No, I was asking also in the box was the Inheritance of Hope. There's also like an Inheritance of Hope rub down. So I wasn't sure, like if you use the one on your car, yeah, the words.
Inspire Hope?
Yeah, Inspire Hope. Is that the same as one is sticker and one's a rub down, or they're both the?
I think they're both they're both stickers. One's just like a.
So the one can be under the other, technically. If
I think that would look good.
The verbiage.
Yeah, but Rebecca needs one that's like 70 times that size.
Yeah, yeah.
Not only 70 times that size, but it has to say inheritanceofhope.org, leaving a legacy or something like that, you know, your tag. So that way, not only they get the gist, I mean, you see the symbol, we all know the symbol because we've been served, but people don't even know of inheritanceofhope.org, you know, it needs to say inheritanceofhope.org, helping, what is it?
Every family deserves a legacy.
Yeah, every family deserves a legacy. And even after that, learn how to leave a legacy. Just get them to go to the site, you know?
Yeah, I love your enthusiasm, and you're spot on with getting the website out, because that is where people will learn more and then they'll be able to access all of the resources. Okay, well, we just have about 5 more minutes. If there's any other things you want to add. I know Shannon got his hat. Looks great, Shannon. Looking very nice. I think Jency and Maddie, I'm looking at both of your beautiful faces in the center of my screen. Both have been family served that are now very active on our serving teams. And what I want to say, this is something we didn't go into like specifically, but when you were served as a teenager, so Jency and Maddie are in that boat, and then you come back, and Isaiah Douglas is on here too. He's in the same boat. When you come back and you serve, now obviously they're all 3 young adults. They're no longer like teenagers, but they come back and they serve the teen group. So the Hope at Home group that meets on Monday nights, that's all teenagers that are in a spot that's tricky and sticky and yucky and hard. And these 3 and others very much like them can say, I have walked in your shoes. I know what you're going through. I get you. And here I am now as a young adult, and I have something to offer you, even if it's just friendship or words or just time. I say just, I don't even want to use that word just. It's like, I'm here for you. I get you. That is such a powerful, really powerful thing. And the fact that God does not waste their pain. So I'm sure Jency and Maddie and Isaiah all wish their parent were here. But the fact that they're using that hard thing that they went through in their life to now serve and bless others gives it a whole new meaning. Only God can do that through hard things, making beauty from ashes and turning it around. So I just love that. I love all of you. I'm so grateful that you not only joined this call, but that I'm looking at the list, like all of you serve in these ways that we listed. You wear your shirts, you share on social media, you raise funds, you run and bike and walk, some of you serve on site, you encourage in so many beautiful ways, you pray, you pack gift boxes and you mail things. I mean, you guys are a gift. I think Dana's still on here, you and Craig rolling shirts and being that encouragement to Heather. All of these things are so important. So I just want to make sure you all feel incredibly appreciated. Paul and Ellen, man, you guys are awesome too. And doing the book club, that was such a great idea. So all of you, I want to say thank you. Appreciate the ideas even today. Rebecca will be in touch, and just so grateful for each of you. We will share this recording. So certainly you can watch that little video at the beginning again, and you guys enjoy the rest of this event. There's so many more sessions today. I hope that you have a great time. And if you have any questions, you can email jill@inheritanceofhope.org. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Jill.
Bye. Have a great rest of the day.